All right, so get this, listeners. Buckle up because we're about to take a deep dive into the start of what promises to be a truly epic adventure. And let me tell you, the mystery is already starting to simmer.
It's really interesting, actually, how the story kind of eases you in. You start with something familiar, right? Our heroes are returning to Phandalin after clearing out Cragmaw Cave.
Right, exactly.
So it creates that sense of homecoming, like a chance to breathe and really get to know the party a bit before things get really, really wild.
Totally. It's like that feeling of relief when you finally kick off your boots after a long journey. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Except in this case, the boots probably belong to Miso Hungry.
Ah, yes. Miso Hungry.
They're probably covered in who knows what. He's our lizardfolk barbarian. Bless his heart. Absolutely loves to eat anything.
Anything.
And I mean anything.
Well, the source material definitely doesn't shy away from his unique appetite.
That's one way to put it.
But, that's part of his charm when you say he adds this element of unpredictability to the group, to the whole dynamic.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of the group, we can't forget the rest of our fearless adventurers. We got Poppy Trill, our halfling rogue.
Olive.
Nimble as a squirrel, and twice as sneaky, I tell ya. And then there's Aurora, the githyanki monk. She's got this disciplined calm about her. Like she could medicate through a goblin horde raid.
Her presence adds a fascinating layer to the party. Githyanki are known for their psionic abilities and their history of conflict with mind flayers. It makes you wonder what role she'll play as the story unfolds, doesn't it?
It really does. And then there's the wild card, Decklin.
Oh, yes. Shrouded
in mystery, quick to anger. And, well, those rumors about him being a werebear, let's just say the source material keeps you guessing.
His character is particularly intriguing because he represents the unknown, right? This unpredictable element that could either help or hinder the party, depending on the circumstances, adds a layer of tension to the story.
Ooh, I love that. Tension, mystery, the possibility of a werebear rampaging through Phandalin. What more could you ask for? But for now, our heroes are, well, they're enjoying a moment of respite. They're back in town, catching up with old friends at the Sleeping Giant Tavern.
Notice how the writer paints this idyllic picture of Phandalin. The warm firelight, the chatter of townsfolk, the familiar scent of Thelgar Ironhammer's famous dwarven stew. It creates this sense of peace and normalcy, which, as you know, is usually a sign that trouble is brewing.
Oh, you know it. And brew it does. Thelgar, bless his sturdy dwarven soul, he drops a bombshell on him. 2 townsfolk have vanished without a trace. Greta Stonefoot, a kind, elderly shopkeeper, and Rurik Ironfist, a blacksmith known for his intricate metalwork. Poof, gone.
The disappearances are presented in a way that immediately piques your curiosity. There's no explanation, no signs of a struggle, just an unsettling absence. It draws you deeper into the mystery, makes you question who or what might be responsible.
Right, suddenly that koozie tavern scene feels a whole lot more ominous. And our heroes, being the valiant souls they are, immediately step up to investigate. But before they can even grab their adventuring gear, they encounter Daxton Blackthorn. He's the town's arrogant, self-proclaimed hero.
Daxton's arrival adds another layer of conflict to the story. He represents that classic trope of the rival adventurer, vying for glory and recognition. His presence adds an element of competition and, potentially, danger.
Yeah, he's definitely not winning any popularity contest, that's for sure. He practically scoffs at the party, like they're not even worthy to share the same quest.
Right.
Which, of course, just makes them even more determined to solve the mystery.
It's a clever way to raise the stakes. Daxton's arrogance motivates the party, pushing them to prove their worth.
Oh, they'll prove it, all right. And their journey starts at the old stone bridge, a familiar landmark that's practically a gateway to adventure. It's like that moment in a movie when the hero sets out on their quest, music swelling, the wind in their hair.
You can almost feel the anticipation building, can't you? The bridge symbolizes a transition, a crossing from the known into the unknown. And in this case, the unknown is the Silver Mist Woods, a place steeped in mystery and whispered tales of strange encounters.
The source material describes the woods as dense and shadowy, with sunlight filtering through the canopy like liquid gold. It creates this sense of both beauty and danger, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It sets the stage for the unexpected. Will they encounter graceful dryads, guardians of the forest, a wise and ancient treant awakened from its slumber? Or perhaps something more sinister?
And like giant spiders. Ugh, I hate spiders. But that's the beauty of this story, isn't it? You never know what's lurking around the next bend. And as our heroes venture deeper into the woods, the mystery only deepens.
Pay attention to how the atmosphere shifts as they enter the woods. The light dims, the sounds of the town fade away, and there's this palpable sense of isolation. It's like the forest itself is watching them, waiting.
Get chills. And then they stumble upon a clearing, a place of stillness and, weirdness. There's this ancient tree stump in the center, and suddenly, poof, Thelger vanishes into thin air.
This sudden disappearance is a pivotal moment. It shatters the sense of normalcy, throws the party into disarray, and the fact that it happens in a place of such stillness makes it even more unsettling. It's like the forest itself swallowed him whole.
I know, right? And to make things even weirder, a strange amulet appears on the stump, glowing faintly. It's like something out of a fairy tale.
This amulet is clearly significant. The source material hints at its connection to one of the missing townsfolk, Rurik Ironfist. It's a tangible link to the mystery, and its appearance adds another layer of intrigue.
And just when you think things can't get any stranger, a shimmering portal rips open in the clearing, swirling with colors you can't even describe. It's like the universe itself is saying, "Buckle up, Buttercup, things are about to get wild."
The appearance of the portal is a brilliant narrative twist. It introduces an element of the unexpected, the unexplainable. It takes the story in a direction you couldn't have predicted and leaves you wondering where on Earth, or perhaps out of it, the party will end up.
And end up they do. The portal spits them out into a world that's as different from Phandalin as a dragon is from a field mouse. Think strange buildings, unfamiliar plants, and a metal beast that nearly runs them over.
The description of this new world is deliberately vague, allowing your imagination to fill in the blanks. It's a place of contrasts, familiar elements juxtaposed with the utterly alien. It creates a sense of disorientation, both for the party and for you, the reader.
And the driver of this metal beast, well, he's a character, right? Jeb Huxley, a friendly farmer with a thin accent and a news sheet in his truck that reveals a date. June 20th, 1988. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're not in Phandalin anymore.
The reveal of the date is like a punch to the gut. It changes everything. Suddenly, we're dealing with not just a different location, but potentially a different time period. It throws everything you thought you knew into question.
Talk about a cliffhanger. We're left with our heroes stranded in a world that's completely foreign to them, with no clue how they got there or how to get back.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how the story uses this whole transition thing to highlight the party's vulnerability. Like, they're ripped from their world, stripped of all their familiar surroundings, right? And just kind of thrust into this place where their skills and knowledge might not even apply.
Right.
It's like watching a master swordsman trying to navigate a world where swords are replaced with whatever those strange contraptions Jeb was talking about were.
Exactly. It's like trying to teach Miso Hungry how to use a smartphone. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, can you imagine his reaction to a world filled with vending machines and drive-through restaurants? It's a recipe for comedic gold. But on a more serious note, this whole abrupt shift in setting really makes you think about the party's strengths and weaknesses in a new light. Like, how will a lizardfolk barbarian who thrives on primal instincts adapt to a world governed by technology and social norms? It's a big question.
It is a big question. That's a question that really unfolds throughout this part of the story. You know, it's not just about the external differences, but also about those internal struggles each character might be facing. Take Aurora, for example.
Right.
As a githyanki monk, she's very much used to a life of discipline, of meditation.
Right.
How will she find her center in a world that's just completely filled with distractions and sensory overload? You know, it's a whole new ballgame.
It's almost like each character represents a different aspect of the reader's own anxieties about facing the unknown, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Like, will they rise to the challenge or will they completely crumble under pressure?
Precisely. And that's what makes this part of the story so engaging. It's not just about the external plot, but about those internal journeys each character has to go on as they grapple with this new reality. It's a very human thing, even if they're not all human.
Right. And let's not forget the mystery that's still hanging in the air, right? What happened to Gritta and Rurik? Are they also trapped in this time period, or is something else at play here?
It's a good question. The disappearance of the townsfolk is like a thread that continues to weave through the narrative, wouldn't you say? It connects the familiar with the unknown.
It does.
It reminds you that even though the party's in a completely different world, that original quest hasn't been forgotten, right?
Mm-hmm.
It raises the stakes and makes you wonder, do the answers they seek lie in this new reality? Or are they even further out of reach than we initially thought?
And then there's Decklin, lurking in the shadows as always. We still don't really know much about him, but there's this sense that he's observing everything, processing the situation in his own way. Do you think this new world might trigger something within him, something connected to his rumored werebear nature?
It's certainly a possibility the source material hints at, that change in environment, the exposure to unfamiliar energies. It could act as a catalyst, awakening something dormant within him. It makes you wonder, will this transformation be a blessing or a curse? Will it help or hinder the party?
Ooh, the suspense is killing me. But for now, the party is focused on the immediate survival. They need shelter, food, and information, obviously. Luckily, they've stumbled upon Jeb Huxley, who, despite his initial shock, seems willing to offer them a helping hand.
Jeb's character is crucial here, I think. He acts as that bridge between the party and this new world, right?
He does.
He provides them with a safe haven, a place to gather their thoughts and just, figure out those next steps. And his perspective as a local allows the reader to kind of glimpse into the everyday life of this seemingly ordinary town, which highlights the contrasts with the party's world even further.
Right. He's also a source of information, even if he doesn't really realize it.
Exactly.
Through his conversations, we learn about the technology of this era, the social customs, the fears and anxieties that kind of permeate this society. It's like getting a crash course in, 1980s Americana. But from the perspective of someone who's completely oblivious to those fantastical elements that have suddenly entered his life, which is kind of hilarious when you think about it.
Exactly. His ignorance is almost a comedic relief, like a way to balance the tension and uncertainty the party is feeling at the moment.
Right.
And it also allows you to see that humor in the situation, to appreciate the absurdity of these fantasy heroes trying to blend into a world of shopping malls and MTV.
Imagine Poppy Trill trying to explain lockpicking to someone who's never even seen a keyhole that isn't digital.
Exactly.
Or Aurora trying to find a moment of zen amidst the constant hum of electricity and the blaring of car horns. It's quite the picture.
And then there's Miso Hungry, who probably thinks a microwave is some kind of magical beast. But amidst the humor, there's these hints of darkness lurking beneath the surface. Remember those shadows that Jeb mentioned? See?
Oh, yeah.
He kind of dismissed them as just a trick of the light, but something tells me there's more to it than that.
Right.
It's like a subtle reminder that even in this seemingly ordinary world, danger can take many forms.
It can.
It creates the sense of unease, like a question mark hanging over the party's newfound haven. Not all is as it seems, maybe?
Right. It definitely adds another layer of complexity to the story. Are they connected to the portal? Are they manifestations of this new world's magic, if it exists? Or are they something entirely different?
That's the brilliance of the source material. It leaves you with those questions, those nagging doubts that linger long after you've finished reading. It invites you to come up with your own theories, to connect the dots and see patterns that might not even be there. Exactly.
And as the party settles into their temporary home, you get this feeling that this is just the beginning. The journey has taken an unexpected detour, but the destination is still unclear. It's really exciting.
This part of the story is like a pause, wouldn't you say? A moment to catch your breath and reflect on everything that's happened. It's a chance to absorb the new setting, to appreciate the characters' reactions, and to anticipate the challenges that lie ahead. Because one thing's for sure, this adventure is far from over.
Okay, so we're back, ready to unravel this final chapter of this crazy adventure, right? We left our heroes stranded in 1980s Nebraska.
Yeah.
A world of big hair, even bigger cars, and technology that's probably making Miso Hungry's head spin.
I think this final part is really all about adaptation. It's about watching these characters from a high fantasy world trying to navigate a reality that's completely different from about.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, dropping a knight in shining armor into a video arcade and just seeing what happens.
Oh, I can already picture Miso Hungry trying to wrestle a pinball machine, thinking it's some kind of metal golem.
Oh, absolutely.
And Poppy Trill, I bet she's already figured out how to use a payphone to make free long-distance calls back to Phandalin. Or at least she's trying to.
At least trying.
Their attempts to blend in, to make sense of this new world. It provides a lot of humor, I think, in this section.
Yeah.
But there's also this deeper layer at play here, wouldn't you say? It forces you to consider the universality of human experience. Even though they're from totally different worlds, they still share those basic needs and desires. Food, shelter, connection.
It's like that saying, no matter where you go, there you are.
Right, exactly.
Except in this case, there happens to be a world where the biggest threat isn't a fire-breathing dragon, but maybe a bad case of culture shock.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. And speaking of threats, we can't forget about those mysterious shadows that Jeb mentioned, right?
Right.
They're still lurking in the background, creating this sense of unease, this reminder that things aren't always what they seem.
It's like a subtle warning that even in this, seemingly mundane world, danger is still present. It's just wearing a different disguise. It makes you wonder if these shadows are, just a figment of Jeb's imagination, or are they a manifestation of something more sinister, something connected to the party's arrival, perhaps.
Yeah. It's the brilliance of the source material. It leaves you with those questions, those nagging doubts that kind of linger long after you finish reading. It invites you to come up with your own theories, to connect the dots, see patterns that may not even be there.
Yeah, and let's not forget the biggest mystery of all. What happened to Greta and Rurik? Are they trapped in this time period? Or are their disappearances connected to something even more complex, something that spans multiple worlds, maybe?
It's like the universe is playing this cosmic game of connect the dots, and our heroes are the pieces, moving across the board in ways they could never have imagined.
And as they're navigating this new world, you start to see their individual strengths kind of shine through.
Yeah.
Miso Hungry's brute strength might not be as useful in a world without monsters to slay, but his simple, straightforward approach to problem solving could, surprisingly, come in handy.
And Poppy Trill, she's probably already figured out how to hotwire a car and is blending in with the local teenagers.
Oh, absolutely.
As for Aurora, her disciplined nature and keen observation skills, those could prove invaluable in a world that's constantly bombarding them with new stimuli.
Yeah.
And Decklin, well, he's still the wild card, the silent observer. But something tells me this new world, with its unfamiliar rules of those hidden dangers, might just be the catalyst he needs to unleash his full potential.
It might be, yeah.
Whether that potential involves werebear transformations or something even more unexpected, we'll have to wait and see.
His character's a good reminder that sometimes the quietest ones are the ones to watch. They're often the ones with the deepest secrets, the most complex motivations.
And as the story comes to a close, you're left with a sense that this is just the beginning of a much larger adventure,
Oh, yeah.
The portal might have closed, but the connections forged, the lessons learned, and the mysteries left unsolved, those are going to ripple through their lives, no doubt. They'll shape their destinies in ways they can't yet comprehend.
This last part definitely leaves you with a sense of hope, of possibility. It suggests that even when you're faced with the unknown, with challenges that seem impalpable, there's always a way forward. It's about embracing the journey, accepting the detours, and finding the courage to face whatever lies ahead.
It's about realizing that sometimes the greatest adventures aren't the ones we planned for. They're the ones that find us, the ones that force us to step outside our comfort zones and discover who we really are.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd encourage you to consider this. What unexpected journeys have you encountered in your own life?
Yeah.
What challenges have forced you to adapt and grow? And what mysteries are still waiting to be unraveled?
Because sometimes the greatest discoveries are the ones we make within ourselves.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the stories that shape our world.
Happy adventuring, everyone.